Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to From the Horse's Mouth. I am your host, Brony, and with me here tonight, I have the one and only DWK. D, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Just good. I'm full of attendees, beer, the good stuff.
You lucky bastard.
Yep, yep.
I am currently on a sobriety streak, so as much as I'd love to have a beer right now, not allowed.
And keep on that, because I have faith in you. All
Thank
right?
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you can do it, bro. Uh, yes, Opal is the queen mod. Do kneel before her. Anyway, it's a pleasure to have you here tonight, dude. Thank you so much for coming on for this. For those of you who are new to the cast, welcome to the show. We're here to let you know what exactly this guy has done with his life, and we hope you enjoy it.
Oh, God. Um, also, thank you for having me here.
Of course.
I was, to those of you listening, I was actually just telling this guy before the stream that this is my first ever live stream, so I am losing my live stream virginity as we speak.
Yep, I'm his first.
Please be gentle. Please be gentle.
I'll try my best. Um, anyway, before we begin, I just want to take a quick moment to acknowledge a few people here tonight. So, firstly, a shout out to my longtime friend Ford here. He was one who introduced me to DWK's work, helped me in the preparations for this cast, and even stepped up to the plate to help moderate the chat tonight. He's been a huge help for me for the 5 years that I've known him. And I just want to say once again, thanks, bro. Secondly, shout out to my man Arrow for putting together this slick overlay we have here that you're seeing tonight, this blue overlay background to help get a nice clean layout. And maybe now I'll finally get views on my videos,
Really
and
gorgeous, truly gorgeous.
and again, lastly, just a quick shout again to my lead moderator Opal. She's always been a reliable friend to me and does her best to be here every time I stream. So that's all the kudos about dished out right there. So now we're just going to get a quick overview for everybody new here how the stream works, or just a quick overview of this guy here. So as I mentioned, I found his work through my buddy Ford. It was late in December, I believe, and it was a video of Starlight Glimmer looking like the crunkest bitch in town. Specifically, his recap of every little thing she does. Now, my first thought was, what is this clickbait crap that I am looking at? I didn't respond back.
It is not clickbait.
Okay, it's...
No, it is.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, so we basically from there, I let it go by for a month because if you know me, you tell me to look at this thing, I will get to it months later. And around the time I did, it was some downtime at Pacific Pony Con. I said, you know what, I'll look through this thing. And surprisingly enough, I was laughing my ass off. Needless to say, this guy here's a pretty funny guy for those who don't know him, though I imagine most of you do. And from there, I became very interested in what he does. So I did more digging. I found that he's been around for quite some time.
And guy's been stalking me for like the past few months.
That's my professional internet job, didn't you know? Professional stalker.
You're good at it. You're good at it.
Thank you. I try my best. Yeah, so he is an interesting character who's quite multifaceted, but we'll get to that. And so, that being said, I think we have a good idea of what's going on here. So, for everyone in this chat, listen up real quick. I'm going to be starting off the main part of tonight's show just now in a minute with the questions I've written up for DWK here. At some point in the middle of it, I will open the floor to you all as well, so you can ask questions yourself and hear them answered live. So while you have the time, I suggest you get them ready for when we open up the chat. Okay? So now, D, is your body ready?
Yeah. My body is as ready as it will ever be, so go ahead and stick it in.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, I suppose I'll start this off with the most obvious question to ask you tonight. Right. How did you find the show that you keep spilling your spaghetti about, like we all do here, for the past, well, in your case, for the past, I suppose, almost a year now with these videos you've been making?
Yeah, well, That starts about 5 and some change years ago. It was actually just introduced to me by a friend, and I yeah, let me see. I got a message from her one day with it was just a picture of the main six, and she was like, "Dude, this is My Little Pony show. You gotta fucking watch it. It's so cool." And I was like, no, fuck you. Um, and so I ignored it for another couple months or so, and she kept bugging me about it. And normally when someone keeps bugging me to watch something, I won't do it just because fuck you. But I actually used to watch G1 My Little Pony as a kid, and I really loved it. Um, and so I decided to give it a shot. And yeah, like after one or two episodes, I was completely and hopelessly in love with it. And the ride has not slowed down since.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Me, I just saw a bunch of pony faggotry going on forum chats
Mm.
and was just confused as all heck as to what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, when I was younger, like teenager in my early 20s, I was on the internet all the fucking time. But at the time I found this show, I really wasn't on any forums or anything aside from like visiting B occasionally. Um, and God knows how I never caught any of it there. But although this might have been at the point where they'd already banned it, I'm not sure. But yeah, I had no exposure to the fandom before the show. It was just kind of happened upon it just because of my friend.
Yeah,
Pretty much it.
about the same. Alrighty. So, although anybody who watches your stuff should know this, I just want you to state for the record who exactly is Best Pony.
Rarity. Rarity is best pony. Full stop. No contest.
Mm. Okay. With that being said, I would just want to know what is your favorite episode that isn't a rarity episode?
hmm. That isn't a rarity episode. Let me see. Well, I I always loved fucking Winter Wrap Up because of the song. Um, fucking but I guess I would have to go with Canterlot Wedding. Now that I think about it,
Really?
that would be the one. Yeah, because I love the whole thing. It's all just so bombastic and entertaining, and you know, it turned me into a very big Chrysalis fan, which I'm sure those of you who follow me might have seen that video I put up completely spurging out when we found out Chrysalis was going to come back, and yeah, I don't I don't even know how many times I've watched that episode or those two episodes. Well over 100, probably 200.
Jeez.
Um,
I don't even think I could
but
say the same for any episode, period.
dude, back back in the first you know, well, I came into the show towards the end of season 2, and but during the season 2 and then the season 3 hiatus, all I fucking did was just watch every episode that we had up until those points over and over and over again. So I used to use iTunes back then. I don't use it anymore, but yeah, for like seasons 1 and 2, the play counts on my iTunes for every episode were well over 100. And the ones I really love, like Canterlot Wedding, yeah, we're getting up towards 200.
Mm.
So I uh God, when I say it out loud, it just sounds even more absurd than when I think about it. Um, but yeah, let's see. Candlelight Wedding, and I mean, obviously anything with glamour in it. I love
There you go.
every little thing she does,
Yes.
and the season 6 finale, man, just that. In fact, the season 6 finale may have. I've still got to think about it a little bit, but the season 6 finale may have eclipsed Canterlot Wedding as my favorite non rarity episode, because that was just it gave me everything I wanted. Gave me everything I wanted and more.
Mm, yep. I definitely agree with you there. I've been thinking about that a lot myself too lately in the wake of that finale. Interestingly enough, it's the only finale where it's not even revolved around Twilight or any of the main six, really, which is quite a change of pace for what we're
Yeah,
used to.
no, I know a lot of people are not happy about it, but personally, I am. I think it's very interesting because it's a definite, it's a first, and to me, it speaks to kind of an evolution that might be happening here. You know, we're entering the third age of the show. We had, seasons 1, 2, and 3 up until, Magical Mystery Cure, and then the Twi'lek era began, and now we are moving into the age of Glimmer, is what it looks like.
Yes. Have you all accepted Glim Glam into your life today? Alrighty. Now, prior to creating the totally legit recap series and unexpectedly gaining a following of, you're nearly at 9,000 subscriptions as of today, correct?
I know it's going better than I ever imagined it would. Is all I can say.
Yes. That being said, what inspired you to start creating the content that you've done prior to that? So let's actually
Okay,
go reach back here a bit.
well, first thing I started doing pretty much immediately upon entering this on getting on the ride was writing fan fiction, and I mean, I've always loved writing. Um, even as soon as I could hold a pen as a kid, I started writing. Love just coming up with stories, and I it was something I've done my whole life. And so when I got into this mess and I saw all the creative shit that everybody else was doing, I was kind of like, well, what can I contribute? And yeah, writing just seemed like my writing was my default response. It was what I knew how to do the best. And so yeah, I did some stories on film fiction. I did a lot of green text, and yeah, let me see. Then I actually started learning how to make music in 2014 because I wanted to do some pony songs, and I've only put one up. I've only got one on my channel, but yeah, I mean, it's a great skill to have acquired producing music, and it's all because of this this
Horses?
fucking yeah, this tiny horse show. But yeah, mostly before the totally legit recap thing, pretty much just writing was what I did aside from a little bit of music.
Hmm. Alrighty. Well, speaking of your writing, I've done a lot of my research, as you already know. Stalking,
Yep.
research, potato, potato.
Yep.
Didn't get to read through all your pastebin works, but I did read through your fanfic story, the one that's remained. Although you've nuked a good portion of them, Welcome to the Show still is kicking around. So I want to talk about that real quick.
Sure.
Basically, the first question really is, what prompted you to write it?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, by the time Rainbow Rocks came out, and the story is about Arya, by the way, for those who don't know, because I doubt anybody who anybody here has actually read it except for like, Seiko and the other people I know from back then.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, by the time Rainbow Rocks came out, I was already a big Equestria Girls fan. Um, Before Equestria Girls came out, when we first heard about it, I was like, freaking out about it. I was like, fuck this. I was super salty. Then, of course, as with the show itself, I watched it and I loved it. And then Rainbow Rocks came out, and it was like just a cut above that. It was a fantastic movie. I
Indeed.
absolutely loved it, and like so many of us, I was quite enchanted by the sirens, and they were, fascinating characters, and yet we learned so little about them. And I mean, I love all three of them, but Arya was the one who interested me particularly because she gets the fewest lines. We know the least about her personality, and yeah, I mean that's really what inspired it, was just a desire to, you know, I at least make an attempt to kind of flesh out this character and maybe create a backstory and a, I don't know, yeah, a mythology for her.
Mm.
And I wrote like 45,000 words and then I never finished it.
Not yet.
Not yet. I do intend to.
Yes.
There are there are some stories I've written, especially like stuff on my page, been much longer, shit that I just completely dropped, and I've been very clear with people about it. People have asked me about it.
Mm-hmm.
That those are dropped fucking stories. Welcome to the show, though. I really do want to finish because I want to know how it ends just as much as everybody else does. Because I never start writing anything with an ending in mind. I just, get kind of a vague idea, start typing away, and let it carry me.
Interesting. It's a huh. That might be honestly a unique answer. I've had writers on in the past. I think it's the first time I heard someone say they just kind of. So you just kind of like me. You just ramble on until it makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean the other thing is I was incredibly drunk, so that has a lot to do with it.
Gee, what a shock!
Um, every every word of that story was, penned, quote unquote,
Under the influence.
while, yeah, ponderously intoxicated, and yeah, I mean, you can kind of, I guess you might even be able to extrapolate that just from the fact that Arya as the main character is a horrible alcoholic. Um, yeah, and I put a lot of myself in her. I don't mean that in a sexual way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah, for anybody who's curious, by the way, I do intend to finish that. I just don't know when it's going to happen.
Understandable. I think I'll get there one day. But
Definitely.
you have other pressing matters for that. But then, let's see. Where are we? Where are we? Um, yeah. So when I read it, the one thing I just wanted to point out was I was impressed, honestly, with the quality of it. Your characterization is consistent. You convey the emotions well when they're interacting with one another, the sirens. And you don't repeat phrases like I've been guilty of doing in the past with my own writing. Um,
Mm.
that being said, is the quality of this due to just your prior fanfics and pastement stories, or is this also because of writing you've done long before all that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been writing my entire life. I thought about actually being a writer at one point when I was in like middle school, just because I love to do it so much. And but uh, well, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, yeah, I've just always written a lot, so I guess practice makes perfect, or in this case, adequate. Um, and Also, the booze helps. Like I'm much more relaxed and loquacious when I'm drunk, and everything just kind of flows out and falls into place half the time. If I get too drunk, then it's a fucking nightmare. But if I just get that perfect level of like wasted, then yeah, it's it it just it just flows. It's like magic. It just comes out. You know, I would bang out some of those chapters like in one night.
Mm. Yeah, college has taught me about the same thing. In all honesty,
Yeah, yeah. I'm not advocating drinking, just to be clear to everybody. But
nor am
for me
I.
personally, unfortunately, it is a fact that I am better at pretty much everything when I'm drunk.
Mm. Alrighty. Now, one last segment before we get to the your main gig that you have going on today. You've created two songs that you've uploaded to the internet. Not only that,
Oh
but you
yes,
also make your intros for each episode of Totally Legit Recap.
I do.
So
I do.
I know you mentioned 2014. You've been making your music already, although
Right.
I'm more so curious as to your background in music prior to that.
Sure, sure. Yeah, 2014 is when I started learning how to like produce music. But I have been doing music since I was like 7, I believe. Yeah, when I was about 7 years old, my parents handed me a violin and they said, "Okay, you play this now." And I did not want to play the violin at all, but yeah, my input was not required on the situation. And so they put me in my I guess it was my elementary school orchestra. We had an orchestra, and I had private lessons and all this bullshit. I was in a string quartet, uh, and yeah, I played the violin until I was 13 years old, and I finally said to my parents, "Look, I fucking hate this. If I have to play an instrument, and that's kind of a requirement, everybody in my family had to play an instrument." I was like, if I have to play an instrument, at least let me choose the one I want to play. And they were like, okay, fair enough. So they took me to a music store with a bunch of fucking instruments, and I looked around and I saw an electric bass, and I was like, that looks fucking sick. Um, so yeah, so then I picked up the bass, and that was fun. That was the first time I actually enjoyed playing music, and you know, I was 13, so I was just becoming a teenager, just starting to become rebellious. Started listening to a lot of rock and roll, a lot of
Oh no.
Rage Against the Machine, um,
Yes.
a lot of Primus, and that type of stuff. And those are two good examples of very bass-heavy music. And so I was like, yeah, I want to learn how to do all of this. Started taking lessons and just practicing my ass off. I was like, that was my thing in high school. I was the guy with the bass, and I would just, sit around in the cafeteria or on the steps or where the fuck ever people would tolerate me and just play the fucking bass every free moment I had. And yeah, I've been doing that ever since. And then, when I got a little older, a couple years later, I picked up the guitar as well, and then the drums. And so, yeah, been doing music basically my whole life. And so then, like I said, in 2014, I actually started learning how to produce. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I started the recap thing, I was just like, well, hey, you know, this is something unique I can bring to the table. So I decided to just start doing like little musical intros, and they got at first they were just like little jingles, like a riff or whatever, but then eventually they evolved into like full on song covers, and yeah, it's given me a lot of great practice at the production aspect of the whole thing.
Nice. Uh, our good buddy Princess Lib Moss here saying he imagined you as a drummer. Apparently.
I I never played the drums all that much. My girlfriend in high school was a drummer, and you know, she had a drum kit, and then I had another buddy in high school as well who was a drummer, and we used to jam out together. And so, between the two of them, I always had access to a drum kit. You know, then when I got older, got out of high school, I had one for a while off and on. Wasn't always able to get access to one. So I'm not a great drummer. I can keep a beat. That's really just about it. So, you know, when when I do the drums for like my songs now, I just do them electronically.
Mm.
But
Nice. Alrighty, let's see here. Anything else in chat? DWK was cool in high school. You never guessed by his YouTube character.
yeah,
Or do you? Yeah.
Well, if it makes any difference, I was a complete loser in middle school and got my ass kicked regularly. Once I got into high school, I toughened up a little bit. But yeah, I was elementary and middle school. I was one of the nerdy kids who sat inside during lunch playing Magic the Gathering.
And then you became an edgelord.
Yep. Then I became edgy as fuck, rock and roll stoner guy.
Nice. Alrighty. On to the main event here. And I think, this is another basic, straightforward question, but one that we're all pretty much interested in here, I imagine. What the hell prompted you to start rambling drunkenly about, My Little Pony?
Well, you kind of answered your own question there because I was drunk. But
aren't you always?
Well, I'm not right now.
Not right now. That's true. That's true.
Prior to this week, yes, pretty much always. Well, anyway, in all seriousness, back in 2013, I'm sure some of you will remember a guy by the name of Brony, who became popular because he started, reviewing and analyzing the show. And, then a few other people sprung up around him, like Tommy Oliver.
Yep, go Tom.
Anthony C. Yeah, I always loved Tom. Thought he was a great guy. Still do. But it was awesome back then because, like, holy shit, this is something new. We've always had fiction writers, we've had musicians, we've had animators, we've had all this interesting creative stuff in the fandom, but this was the first time people were making like a concerted and visible effort to like sort of delve into the themes of the show. However strange, seriously analyzing a little girls talking horse cartoon might seem, I found it legitimately fascinating. And then that old guard of guys, they fucked off to do other stuff, and the analysis community continued, and I mean, I know a lot of those people, and a lot of them are my friends, and so not trying to diss them or anything, but it just seemed like it just kept being like more and more of the same shit, people talking about the same things, and eventually I kind of lost interest in it. And then at sort of towards the beginning of last year, I was like, obviously, once again, like I said, I was fucking drunk, and I was like, I want to make a video. I want to make a pony video because I wanted to learn how to make videos, and I wanted to do something that like wasn't analysis, that kind of masqueraded as a review format, but was just not a fucking room. And so, yeah, I decided to do the totally legit recap of fucking, what was it? Goddamn, what's the name of the episode?
Is it No Second Prances?
Yeah, it was No Second Prances. It was episode 6 of season 6, I believe.
Yes.
And so yeah, I you know got a copy of Sony Vegas, totally legally, of course,
Of
and
course. I have a legal one
and
too.
of course, yeah, and sort of fumbled my way through it. Fortunately, I was already very good at audio engineering, so I didn't have to worry about that part. It was just the video part that was new to me, and so yeah, I kind of stumbled my way through it, and it was totally fucking stupid. And originally, when I would put it up, I I didn't call it totally legit recap. I called it stoner recap because that's what it was. I was because in addition to being drunk, I was also very high when I made it, and I just kind of sound like a fucking stoner. That's what happens when you live in Northern California your entire life. Um, and I showed it to my friends, and they're like, "This is pretty entertaining, but dude, you got to do something about the title. Nobody's gonna fucking watch that with that title." And I was like, "Okay, what can I call this that sort of encapsulates the the vibe here, what I'm going for?" And yeah, so I decided on totally legit recap because it is, in fact, totally legit.
Of course.
Um, and yeah, so that's really all I wanted to do. I wanted to do something creative, I guess you could call it, and something that felt kind of new, like that wasn't just more of the same that we've been seeing for the past however many years. So yeah, I kind of thought of it as like an anti-review.
Okay.
I know that all sounded incredibly fucking pretentious, but forgive me, I'm just coming up with all this off the top of my head, kind of. So
I know, dude. You're fine. Um,
don't have time to not sound like a dumbass.
you're talking to me here. I'm,
All
I'm
right.
running. I'm running a show. I'm running a show where I talk about people who talk about horses. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I keep forgetting the standards here are very low, and that
Yeah.
does make me feel more at home. So,
We're just honestly, this is just my way of having a good time and letting other people have a good time, and everybody here having a good time. So, moving on. Um, I am now curious. Um,
mm,
I want you to explain now the process you go through with writing and making these videos. Writing the humor, picking the show clips you want to use, and so on. What's your general process from start to finish of making a totally legit recap episode?
mm. Well, I guess I'll talk about the process that's the way it's been for most of the videos, which is when the season is actually airing, because um, you know like right now during a hiatus, it's much more relaxed. I kind of produce stuff at a slower pace, but yeah, when the season's going, it's kind of a breakneck fucking thing because I've only got a week to do each one. Um, so yeah, I mean, basically, what I would do is obviously watch the episode first. That's kind of a requirement, and basically, yeah, I'll watch. On Saturday, I'll watch the episode 3 or 4 times, and I have my notepad up when I'm doing so. I'm just jot down anything that comes into my head because usually just watching it always gives me a few ideas right off the bat. And the funny thing is, um, I never considered myself like a comedian, and I've said this before, I think, in one of my own podcasts. But yeah, I never considered myself a comedian. Like the stuff I normally do, like when it comes to writing and music and that type of shit, was always um, very dramatic and serious face type of shit. And so doing comedy was a new thing for me. And but like anything else, it's a skill that you can hone. And so yeah, the is first day, and often sometimes the second day after the episode airs, is always just coming up with a script, and you know, I like I said, it's a breakneck fucking thing, and I'm kind of half panicking the whole fucking time because I'm just trying to think of a good way to string everything together, and I just draw on anything I can. There are a few things I reference a lot, like fucking aliens. I always put a lot of aliens references in my shit. Fucking. Let me see. What else? More than a few Lazy Town references in there.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
when, dude, in every little thing she does when Pinky did the
The cake.
cooking by the book reference, yeah, I lost it. I was so fucking happy about that because I had been a fan of that fucking, the Lil Jon mashup
Mm-hmm. I know the
since
one.
that first appeared, however many years ago. Fucking love that shit. Uh, anyway, getting back on track. So I'll just kind of bang out a script, and when you're working on a schedule of just a week, a lot of the time you have to just kind of look at it and say, okay, that's good enough. Um, and then after that, uh, before I record the script, I always do the screenshots, and that is just to make sure that I have enough usable screenshots that can kind of be used to illustrate the script, because sometimes there will be shit I want to say or like scenes I want to do that the episode just doesn't have screenshots for, and I have to kind of rework it a little bit. And I run through the episode once, take screenshots by hand, get especially scenes where certain characters are talking. I want to get a bunch of fucking frames of those. Um, and, that first run through will be somewhere between 1,000 to 1,500 screenshots. And then I'll do another run where I just automate it and have it take like one every 20 frames. And that usually gives me like another 1,000 or so. So, a lot of fucking screenshots. Then once I have all that worked out, then I'll record myself, just doing the narration. And once that's done, just do the mixing on it, which is really simple because I have a template for it now and everything in FL Studio, which is what I use to record everything.
Mm.
Then after that is the musical intro. And that usually takes, I try to always do it in like one day. I did, well, in the beginning, it was easier because, I would just pick songs I already knew how to play. Um, but then once I started getting sort of a clearer idea of what I was trying to do, I would pick like songs that would kind of have some pertinence to whatever I was talking about. Like a good example would be at a recent Cutie Mark Crusaders episode, On Your Marks,
Yep.
I believe is what it was called. And
the
as
one
the
where
intro
Amy's
for
depressed.
that, what's that?
The one where Apple Bloom is depressed or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And as the intro for that, I did Hysteria by Muse. Because the chorus, I don't know if you know the chorus of that song, but it goes like,
I know Muse, but I don't know the chorus of that one.
It's like, I want it now, I want it now, is sort of the refrain they continuously repeat during the chorus.
I see.
And I forget what episode it was back in the earlier seasons, but Apple Bloom says, but I want it now.
Yeah.
And so that clicked in my mind,
season 1,
and I was
dude.
like, oh, yeah, okay,
That's like her. That's like actually. I think that's just the first like CMC episode. Actually, yeah.
What was that one called? Do you remember?
I should know this.
Don't worry about it. It's so fucking stupid because if it's season one, I've watched it over 100 times and I still can't remember the goddamn name. But anyway, so yeah, for something like that, actually, fortunately for that song, I already knew the bass line because
There you go.
I've been a Muse fan. But what I do is, I have the beginning of the My Little Pony intro that goes like dun 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 dun, and that also I recorded myself. Just a cover of that intro part, but that's in the key of D. So any song I'm going to use, I have to transpose into the key of D. So, like Hysteria by Muse, for instance, is in the key of A, I believe, originally. So I had to transpose it over into the key of D. Then, once I had done that with the bass line, I had to learn all the other parts, the drums. I don't think I did a guitar part for that one. I just did, I use like the music box and bell sounds a lot, the same ones that they use in the My Little Pony intro, so that it kind of,
Sounds the
kind of
same.
flows. Yeah, that it all flows into each other. And someone got our back in the chat. Call of the Cutie.
Yep, that's what
That
Buddy
was the name
Ford.
of the episode. Yeah,
That's the guy
thank
who
you for it.
that's the guy who showed me you.
Oh well, why did you do that to your friend, bro? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
No, but
Why would you make me
thanks for
interview
that.
this guy?
But anyway, yeah. So learn the song, transpose it into the key of D, record it, mix it. Between all that, I can usually, if I'm on top of my game, I can get it done in a day. But sometimes it bleeds into the next day a little bit. So then after that, I've got the voice recording done. I got the song done. I got the screenshots done, and obviously I'll get the video of the episode. And I try to get like an HD iTunes rip, which I usually get from Yay Ponies. That site is awesome.
Yes, it is.
If you guys don't know about it, it's yayponies.no.
I have it in my bookmarks. It's the second one I have.
Yeah, that's a great fucking site. They upload, HD rips of the episodes like 2 or 3 days after they come out. It's a very useful resource.
Yep.
So yeah, after that, I pretty much have all my basic materials. Then I'll start doing, anything like anything special I need, like Photoshops. I need to do like, this. I'm addicted to fucking photoshopping sunglasses on ponies.
Yeah,
It's
really.
become one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, I know that. I guess for someone who stalks me, that's pretty obvious.
Oh, I'm referring to the giant glimmer in the center of the screen here.
yeah. That might have. I don't know if that was my first, but that was one of the first ones.
It's your
I
finest
did.
one yet. I do say so myself.
I think the like super crunk glimmer, with the sunglasses and the baseball cap and all that shit. I think that one's pretty goddamn good too.
It is. I just think with this one, her expression already kind of has that smug look of like she already knows she's the shit.
Yeah,
because she is.
Yeah, no, I love Glimmy, and I'm sure we'll get into that later. But right now, to finish up this one, so I'll do any Photoshops I need to do, and then after that, I usually try to have all this done by Wednesday, and then over the next couple days, it's just a question of stringing it all together into a video. I'm not gonna go into the boring details of how Sony Vegas works, but yeah, I feel like most people have probably dicked around with it in some capacity, so they have a general sense of what that's like. But yeah, I mean, assembling all the materials and doing all the recordings and music, that's the hard part. Once it comes to making the video, that's the most boring but also the easiest part. So
all right,
that's basically it. I try to have the video up by like Thursday night. I mean, well, actually, some of them I would just blaze through. Like fucking, I can't remember which episodes they were, but some of them, like, I would have the video done by like Sunday night or Monday night, and then I just have the rest of the week off and just kick back and shit post and do like stupid podcasts and stuff. But um, you know, at the latest, I try to have it up by Thursday night, so then I can have a day off before the cycle begins anew.
Well, you still got about a month or so till it starts over again.
Yeah,
Better
yeah.
get that Rainbow Rocks video done.
I know, right? Oh my god, I'm right in the middle of working on that. Yeah, just started really grinding on it last night, so I can't say when it's going to be out, but I hope to God I finish it before the season starts.
Yes, I hope you do too. All right, it's we're 45 minutes in or so now, so I'm
Oh
gonna let the
shit.
chat. No, it's good. We're on good time here. I'm gonna
Okay.
open up now questions to the chat here to ask D live. All right, so just for now, everybody, if you have like questions you want to ask D, please send this way. Just keep in mind, please, make them appropriate. And I know we're all a bunch of fucking autistic
what
faggots here, but
what
like,
even
let's
is
not
appropriate for this
appropriate.
venue?
Appropriate would imply, you see, like I am a professional stalker, but don't be a creepy stalker and ask him really really creepy things. No waifu discussions, because we'll be here all night if we do that.
You don't want to get me started.
Yeah. Um, just don't be rude. Really, is all I'm asking, and we'll be good here. So let's go down the line here. Let's see. My buddy Ford here is asking, D, are you a full time YouTuber with less than 10,000 subs?
I actually am. Yes, it's pretty absurd, but you know, I quit my job that I had had for God, like 4 years almost at the beginning of last year, and I had no idea what I was going to do, but I just I noticed what the fuck. I just knew that I wanted to get the fuck out of there because it paid well, but I fucking hated it.
Hmm.
Fortunately, when I did quit, I had a nice big savings that I had amassed over my time there. So I kind of had little time to relax, little wiggle room. And, when I was kind of trying to figure out what the fuck I was going to do next, that's when I started doing these videos. And then, people started saying, hey, you should make a fucking Patreon. You can make a little money doing this. And it's, even though that is looked down upon uh, on 4chan, but what can I say? I'm a fucking chill hack fraud piece of shit. So I did it, and it went exceedingly well. It went crazy fucking well, just due to people's generosity, and basically, it's at the point now where I can kind of eke out a living off of it. It's not necessarily easy, and I'm pretty strapped, but it works, and the numbers are only going up. So
Hmm.
as of now, I can't say it'll last forever, but as of now, yes, I am technically a full time YouTuber.
Okay. Nice. Just bounce off a quick question here to pay it to this one ties into that. Twilight is worth pointing out. Be honest, were you shilling your channel on slash MLP early on?
No, actually, and that is a completely honest answer. The only place I would post anything ever was MLPG, because that's a thread I had been frequenting for a while, and the first time, yeah, God, I think it was the first time I made a video, first or second time I put it up in MLPG, and I was like, hey guys, here's the thing I did, and some people called me a faggot, but there was a surprising number of people who were like, hey, this is pretty fucking good, next
Mm.
time you do one, post it again. and so I continued to just post my videos there. But yeah, the only place I have ever posted my videos ever on 4chan was LPG.
Alrighty.
Eventually, a lot of people started shilling for me. I didn't even have to do anything.
That's when the mob mentality sets in.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Sonen J, I think I said that right, has says DWK, do you have a favorite rarity themed song made by the fandom, not the show?
Hmm. I really don't. Um, yeah, that's uh, the disappointing but truthful answer is I really don't. I don't. I don't know. I'm like you said. We can't get into waifu discussions because then we will be here all night. But I am extremely autistic about my waifu, and I don't want to hear some other motherfucker singing about her. So yeah,
Hmm,
keep that shit to myself.
there. Okay. There's another second one here from Ford. I just want because this is a question actually that I've kind of have myself here is, do you have
Yep.
anything in the works or any plans to make more Killer Horse music?
Yeah. It's funny. Back when I started learning how to do music, and actually that song "Rose Colored Glasses," which I guess was the first song I ever started. Um, when I did, and it took me a long fucking time to finish it because I had to I had to get good. Um, but there were also several other songs that I started producing at the time. A couple of which are finished or almost finished, and I just haven't released them yet. There is one song I did about Luna that I was planning on releasing last Halloween. It just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and it would be good to go. But then I fucking didn't because you know jerking my dick and drinking kind of just took priority. And but yeah, that song, if I just cleaned it up a little bit, if I just spent like a day or two on it, I could have a decent product to put out. So I'm shooting for sometime this year on that one. And then, yeah, I have a couple other ones that are technically finished, but they're just so kind of weird that I don't know how much people would like them. So I was thinking about maybe putting them up on my second channel. I'm still not sure about it. Um, but yeah, so I'm always thinking of song ideas. It's just lately I really haven't had much time to produce them. I've got a Sunset Shimmer song that I really want to do. I have the whole thing fucking written out. I just haven't actually, recorded it yet.
Nice.
Um, that's another one I really want to get done because it's very personal to me. No, but
All
I think it's actually pretty cool. So
right. I look
when
forward to it.
when I basically when I get to a point where I'm not so strapped all the time, not so stressed out, then I can do more fun things like that. But yeah, right now I'm just focusing on making the videos.
Uh huh. Alrighty. Let's see where we left off from here. Soundboard burning us. Do either of you have a fan Discord server? I actually just whipped one up as a prototype. If anyone's interested, I will talk about that later. Though, D, do you have a fan Discord server?
Well, I have my own Discord server.
Hmm.
It's my secret club, and it has nobody in it. It's just me, and that's it.
Alrighty.
But
At,
I mean, I don't want to do like a fan Discord server. That seems incredibly fucking narcissistic.
Fair.
Um, no, no offense to Doodle Pony if you're listening, because I know he has his own. No, I just thought about that. No offense, dude. It's just not my deal.
Fair.
But,
Acetine210 asks, what do you want the most out of season 7?
whew, well, there are several things. Uh, I want more Glimmy. obviously.
Yes.
I want Chrissy to come back again. I mean, honestly, if we're being like completely honest for real here, I want Chrysalis to
For
get reformed.
realsies.
Yeah, if we're being for realsies here, I know I'm gonna lose some good boy points for this, but I want Chrysalis to be reformed. I want her to like, I know this is so fucking retarded and it probably wouldn't even work well, but I want her to get reformed and like become a part of the cast. That's I'm just that fucking retarded. But yeah, so I want to see Chrysalis come back in some capacity at least. And more than anything, I want another friggin' rarity episode, dude, because we haven't had one since Canterlot fucking Boutique. And yeah, I know everybody says that the Saddle Row review was a rarity episode, but I don't consider it one because it wasn't focused on her. It was focused on everybody else. They just happened to be doing something for rarity. It wasn't part of her, her arc, what I consider her arc. So
Her character
yeah, more than
development.
anything, yeah, exactly. Yeah. More than anything, I want a fucking rarity episode.
Okay, let's see here. Subaru Anon asks, "What does DWK stand for, if anything? How much do you spend on alcohol per episode?"
It how much do I spend on alcohol? Well, we'll start with that. How much do I spend on alcohol per episode? Um, well, it depends on how many days it takes me to make it. Uh, like while season 6 was airing, I was spending maybe $15 a day on beer or so. So yeah, depending on how many days it takes to make it, it's roughly $15 a day. So you can kind of get a sense from that. Um,
Mm,
DWK, what does it stand for?
you,
Well,
you don't want to
I could
know.
tell you, but yeah, you don't want to know.
Nora
But yeah, that's
Mermaid.
actually what it stands for. Is don't want to know. Don't want to know. That's what it stands for.
Yeah, I had the same thought myself until I did my researching, and honestly, if I said to myself, if this guy tells me it's his initials, I'm gonna slap him.
No, but it is not in any way my initials. In fact, yeah, none of those letters are. Yeah, no.
Fair.
It yeah, it's just don't want to know. So I can say that stupid line I just said.
Mm-hmm. I've been there, dude. I love puns. Anyway, Nora Mermaid asks, if you were a merman, what color would your tail be?
Red.
There we go. Wilhelm Screamer asks, have you started on the comics, DWK?
Uh, I've read a bunch of them. Yeah, I actually have a fucking stack of them on one of my shelves here. Although I kind of God, it was I think it was beginning middle of 2015. I kind of stopped. I just got distracted. Was trying to, you know, I was working really hard on some fiction stuff. I was working really hard on learning the music production shit, and I just didn't have time for the comics. And I still haven't picked them back up yet. So I don't know. That's something I will do eventually. But I used to get the comics like individually, like go to a comic book store and get each issue. Now I'll just buy one of the compilation volumes every once in a while. But yeah, as of now, I'm not into the comics.
Alrighty, let me just flip the chat real quick. Okay, so I put that out there for let them know. Questions. Where are we here? Okay. Uh, Nando Mong. Hope I said that right. Do any of your family or IRL friends know about your YouTube career?
Oh yeah, my whole family knows. Um, they are they are incredibly supportive of it. Um,
Gee, makes me Makes me wonder about my own family.
Well, you have to understand the the context. You know,
Mm,
for the past 10 years, my life has been completely fucked up, and I've been absolutely miserable. And so, just the fact that I am enjoying what I'm doing right now, and even starting to make a little bit of money off of it, they're very, happy that things seem, that they're happy that I don't want to fucking blow my brains out finally.
fair.
So, yeah, that's really it.
That's a good point.
And yeah, bunch of my well, not even a bunch, all of my IRL friends, I guess, know about it in some capacity. So,
Mm, okay. Um, Princess Lipos asks, you mentioned the older den of MLP. What other shows did you like watching growing up?
let me see. I, as a kid, I fucking, yeah, I loved the old MLP. I loved fucking Animaniacs and the spin-off, of course, Pinky and the Brain. Uh, Let me see what else. What else? I loved the Power Rangers. Um, eh, God, it is really hard to remember shit I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, same with
Uh,
me.
got
I
that.
remember other people's lives better than my own.
Oh God, yeah. See, I can't even say that. I barely remember my own life, and I don't remember other people's lives at all. So if people didn't keep reminding me, I might forget I even existed for the past 30 years. Um, but yeah, those are the ones that really stick out in my mind. I'm sure as soon as we stop talking about it, I'll think of 100 other things. But right now, that's all I can. Well, let me see. I definitely watched some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Um, I God, trying to remember some '90s shows here.
Hmm.
The fuck, like doing? I don't know. Well, if I think of more later, I'll interject. But other than that, that's all I got for now.
Okay. Lockhart here asks, will you do a legit recap of G1?
You know, I have. I, I would never cover the whole fucking thing, but I've thought about. Well, I can't go into it too much because that would sort of give away the whole joke. But yeah, I've thought about doing something with it. So
There you go. Alrighty. Let's see down the line. Wilhelm Screamer asks, DWK, are huge knockers essential to good anime?
not necessarily, unnecessarily. Um, I mean, they absolutely help. There's very few situations in which they are not a plus, but not not absolutely necessary. Like, I mean, one of my favorite anime is K-On! And a couple of the characters have decent sized tits, but there's no like huge racks flopping around in that show or anything. It's very,
Hmm.
the girls are much more adorable than sexy, and I fucking love that show. And yeah, so I love me some big tits, but they are not a requirement.
Alrighty. Um, let us see. Let us see. Got good ones here. Uh, hmm. Trying to filter this chat stuff. Totally fine. What I'm going to ask one of myself here, real quick. While we're talking, I just want you to explain, why are you obsessed with Chrissy in a non-waifu faggotry way? Just, I'm kind of
Well, I
curious.
mean, she's not my waifu, so
Oh,
by definition, it's not going to be waifu
all right,
faggotry. But
in a ranting faggotry way. I don't know how you want to call it.
okay,
Just not, so we're not here all night.
sure. The reason I love Chrissy is for lot of the same reasons I love the Dazzlings. It's because Chrysalis, however big of a fucking idiot she may be, with her uh, propensity for expositing her entire fucking plan while the good guys are listening every single time, uh, she she's got a great personality. Just the way she conducts herself, she's got flair, she's got panache. She's intimidating when she wants to be, even when she's being a fucking idiot. Uh, yeah, she just has this kind of imposing, alluring persona that I really like. I know a lot of people kind of feel that about Discord in a lot of ways, and Discord was almost objectively a much smarter villain than Chrysalis was, but I think Discord's a fucking douchebag. Although my opinion of him has improved of late, but we don't need to go into that. Anyway, yeah, Chrysalis, I like I like her style. Basically, is the best way I can sum it up. I like her style. I like her persona. I like how she carries herself, and yeah, I'm invested in her. However off the rails her life may have gone.
So you just wanted to be reformed so you could just have another character, a reformed character that you like to your list?
Precisely, precisely. I just want more of her, any way I can get it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there was one I just saw right here.
Fuck you, Seiko.
Now,
Hey,
Seiko, do I have to revoke more good boy points from you?
No, he had no good boy points to begin with.
Yeah, now he's going to work harder to get them back.
Yeah.
Okay, I know Mando's S3 here, but I'm going to allow this one because this is actually curious. I kind of like this one here. Apart from Glimmer, is there a character you enjoyed the most writing for your recaps?
Let me see. Actually, well, I mean, I love doing Rarity because, I do the whole darling bro thing. I don't know, for some reason in my recaps I've made her the biggest like a prissy dude bro. I don't I don't know how it works, but I love doing that. And then also Spike, because I always just kind of use Spike to point out the insanity and what everybody else is doing, which often, I don't know, but sometimes the writers use him for as well, but then other times, I don't know, Spike's self-awareness seems to have an on-off switch, and it's one or the other. He's either the smartest guy in the room, or he's being a complete fucking idiot. But yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's a sad truth to Spike.
Yeah, but whatever. Yeah. I still really like Spike no matter what. But yeah, I guess those would be the ones that come to mind at the moment.
Alrighty, let's see. There's literally a Twitch user in here called DWK fan.
Oh God!
And
why would you do that to yourself?
He asked a simple question: how old are you?
I'm 30.
There you go.
Big 3-0 just a couple months ago.
You're over the hill.
I know. I almost wish, when I turned 30, I almost wished I had never, had sex just so I could get my wizard powers, because it's not like I'm getting laid now. So, I almost wish I could take it back just so I could be a wizard, but it's too late. Too late.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Trying to pick through a lot of other chatty chat stuff. Trying to see.
Oh, I saw one I kind of wanted to.
Okay, go ahead. If you see him too, just call him out. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
It was a little bit earlier from Ford. He was asking, have you considered adding some nice Patreon tiers, such as exclusive live streams for $5 a month? Right. I'd pay for that. Well, I appreciate you saying you'd pay for it, but there's a couple things. Number one, I don't want to put anything behind a paywall. I don't like it when people do that. I mean, granted, I understand some people have to make money, maybe debatably, not sure about that, but yeah, I don't want to put anything behind a paywall. And the other thing is, the other reason I don't have any Patreon reward tiers is just because I'd rather it just be people who like the shit I already make enough that they want to express their I how can I put this without sounding like a narcissistic jackass? Um, you know, People who like the stuff enough that they're just like, hey, here's a couple bucks, rather than, I mean, I'm scatterbrained and disorganized enough as it is. Like, if I had a bunch of reward tiers to keep track of, I would be fucked. I would probably end up not delivering on a lot of it and pissing a lot of people off. So I'd rather just keep it simple and just, yeah, have it be the people who, you know like the content and are financially comfortable enough to not miss a couple bucks a month.
Alrighty. There's one right here. Cirrus Face asks, "What do you hope to see with the 3 Equestria shorts coming up soon? Aside from Starlight meeting Glimmer, I think he means Sunset meeting Starlight."
Yeah. Well, I know. Well, I know you said aside from that, but I still just have to say I have said before, uh, if Glim Glam and Shimmy are ever in the same room together, if they're ever talking to each other, my dick will explode. It'll be like a shotgun blast out of the front of my pants. Probably take out one of my monitors. So yeah, obviously,
Aim at the one you hate.
yeah. Well, I.
If that happens to you, then what happens if Star Trek's is canon?
Um, I think I'll just have a stroke. Actually, I think I will. I will die. That'll be the end of me. Um, but yeah, so obviously I want that, and I mean, I just love to see the story progress. I mean, it's interesting. Sunset's arc is basically done because for the last, or well, basically for the entirety of Equestria Girls, that has really been the story. There is Sunset's downfall and redemption, or downfall, reformation, and then redemption, and and that's been just, I've absolutely loved it. It's just it's one of my favorite things. But now I feel like we've gotten to a place, Sunset's in a good place. Everybody else, they all have fucking magic powers now, right? So I feel like, and I can't claim to have come to this conclusion myself. Someone, I forget who, one of my friends, pointed this out to me. We're kind of in a place now where the whole thing could become a little bit more episodic and maybe even, fingers crossed, turn into its own show. Because we've got a perfect setup. We've got these six, or, well, actually, I guess 7 chicks, since we've got Sci-Twi. We got these
Yep.
chicks with magic powers, and, they can go out and solve friendship problems and shit. So, yeah, I mean, if it turns into more of an episodic thing, that would be pretty interesting. It would, just to see what they do with the premise.
Mm-hmm. I think, especially now that they're very established, they can pull this off better.
Yeah, we've got a good foundation. We had a pretty awesome narrative arc with Sunset, and then Sci-Twi's induction into the group, and yeah, so there's a lot to build off of. Um, I just basically I just want more. I want more is what I want.
Always. Um, okay. Soundboard Brony asks, DWK, have you thought about doing a collab with Doodled?
Yeah, we fucking discussed that, but you know, I know we're both on board for the idea in a conceptual sense, but I am like I've mentioned, a scatterbrained motherfucker who's always just, desperately trying to keep my head in the game and keep making videos. So I just don't know when we're actually going to do it. Um, but yeah, we've kicked around the idea. I've talked to him and several other people about collabs that will hopefully get made in the future. But as of now, uh, although I did just finish working on a collab project with Wyme Time.
I saw
He's
that.
coming out with
Yes.
he's coming out with a new series, and me and Wootmaster are
Good
gonna
old Woot.
be.
Good old Woot.
I love Woot, dude.
He's an awesome
Um,
dude.
yeah, he's one of my. He's been one of my favorite people in the fandom for a long time, and so when I actually got to like meet him and talk to him, it was pretty fucking dope. But yeah, me and Woot and Wyme, uh, and Vermont, if you guys know him, we all
He's a good state.
work together. What's up?
I said he's a good state.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, actually, he's actually a guy in
No,
addition
I
to
know.
being a state. But fucking yeah, we did a collab project together, and to be fair, I only helped with the writing a little bit and recorded my lines. Wyme and Vermont and their whole team are doing the vast majority of the fucking work, 99.9% of the work. But yeah,
You're just there
that's
for
going to
the
be
ride.
coming out. Yeah, I was just, you know, I just got to basically talk, just play myself, which is the only thing I can do. So that should be coming out within. I don't know what the exact release date is, but within the next month, I think.
It sounded recent. When I saw his tweet about it, it sounded like he wanted to get out pretty soon. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Wine Time is awesome,
they're
guys.
going
You
full
should
speed
follow
on
them
that.
too. You should follow him too. But let's see. Let's move along here. Get Swifty asks, "What are your thoughts on the upcoming MLP movie?"
Whoo boy, that I I have no idea what the fuck to expect, man. Like, they've got like all these fucking people on it, like fucking Liev Schreiber, Tay Diggs.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck are these guys doing in an MLP movie? How did they even pull this off? Um, but I mean, you know, I have no precedent to judge by, really. I mean, they've never done a theatrical MLP movie. I think like Rainbow Rocks got a limited theatrical release, and maybe one of the other
Friendship
EQG
game.
movies.
French. I think they. I think I don't know about the first one, but I know Remember Rocks did. I think Friendship Games did. They didn't do it
Mm,
for Legends of Everfree though.
yeah, so I mean,
I mean, the last
even
theatrical one we've had was like did the G1 go? I think one of them was, and it
I have
like
no
and it.
fucking clue. I was
I
a
think I
tiny little
think
kid.
my Saber Spark knowledge is peeking at me here. I think one of them did, but it like tanked in the box office.
Well,
Not I hate to say not surprising, but I mean I just think it didn't quite have the marketing ability to succeed in the on the big screen as it does on the telly.
yeah. I mean, I have no idea what to expect. And then, fucking, like a week or two ago on Twitter, they started throwing up some of the characters that are going to be in there, and there was that like anthro cat guy thing, and I was just like,
Cap, yeah, like
um,
Capper. His name is Capper.
yeah, I know his name is Capper. Oh my god,
Oh gosh,
fuck! But
even Larson figured it out.
dude, yeah, Larson's probably laughing his ass off right now if he's
Oh,
even paying attention. Um,
oh, I don't doubt
but
that.
yeah, so I have no idea what to expect. I am reserving all judgment until I see it because, as I mentioned, I was very judgmental of Equestria Girls before it came out, and I, kicked up a big fuss on to the like 100 followers I had on FimFiction at the time or whatever. But yeah, so I'm just chilling out, waiting to see what happens.
Okay. The Root Tap asks, "What is your favorite type of beer?"
Favorite beer, Arrogant Bastard.
Yes, I just
It
had it.
is.
It's not my
Oh yeah, you're
favorite.
drinking one right now.
No, I finished.
Uh,
I killed it prior.
I killed it.
I'd rather not be drinking while on the show. That sounds like a bad idea to me.
Uh, I would love to be drinking, but right now I'm, like I said, I'm trying to be sober. But
I'd rather you
yeah,
be alive here. Yes.
Arrogant Bastard is a double IPA, uh, very very heavy on the hops.
That it
So
is.
yeah, if you guys are into that type of beer, I would 100% recommend it. If you don't like hops, don't even try it because it is a kick in the fucking mouth.
Yep.
But
Okay.
yeah, and then
Soundboard. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, then there's also a double version of Arrogant Bastard, which is called
Oh.
Double Bastard, which is
Oh.
even stronger. And that shit's like, in addition to having even more fucking hops,
Yeah.
it and it looks like and has the alcohol percentage of wine. It's fucking just thick, dark. Not, yeah. If you drink a bottle of that, prepare to be fucked up because it's like 11 or 12%. So yeah, it'll do you real good.
Alrighty. Soundboard Brony again asking here, do either of you have plans for cons this year? I'll let you go first.
Uh, I was going to go to BabsCon this year, but I decided against it precisely because I'm trying to stay sober, and I cannot do that at cons. I do not have the self control at this point in time to go to a con and not get completely trashed. It's just not doable. Uh, so yeah, no cons for me this year.
For me, I will be at BronyCon as always this year. I was trying to get to go to Everfree as well, but didn't. It's unlikely to happen because I still have no source of income. I am a college student, and I mean, it's not an easy thing to do to have money.
Yeah, dude, that shit gets
So
expensive.
yeah, and my college is affordable. But yes, I will
Yeah.
be at BronyCon. It will be a blast as always. I know Psycho. I will be tagging along with him at some points. Honestly, you probably, if you know Saberspark, you'll probably find me hanging around him and his posse of people. So I'll definitely be at BronyCon. I might be at PhillyCon later in the year, just because it's local. But other than that, that's about it for me. So yeah, if you find me there and come say hi, I'm totally down for that. Let's see. What else we got here? I
In
think
the chat,
I'm gonna actually let's see what time we're at here. Yeah, I'm going. All right, guys, I'm gonna actually close out the chat questions for now. Um, just see if there's any left that I missed here really quickly. Um, okay, I'll take this last one here from Mando. They just posted. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna take the second one he asked here is what is which totally legit recap are you the most proud of?
let me see. Um, well, I would have to say there are two, for different reasons. Every little thing she does, um, I'm really proud of, mostly just for the dumbass photoshops and the musical intro,
Mm-hmm.
because I sort of constructed my own cover of
In our town.
Starlight Glimmer's song, yeah, in our town, uh, like the rock version, is what I wanted to do, and I think it came out okay. I almost want to do like a full one of that sometime, but the God, I'd have to say overall probably the Equestria Girls one. because I had more time to do it, had more time to think about everything and kind of perfect it. And yeah, I think it came out, better quality for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Um, I like every little thing she does because that was my first video of yours, and that was
Mm,
quite a good starting point for me. Um,
yeah.
let me see here. Let this. Righty. You mentioned actually the Question Rules video. Yeah, I find it interesting that that one has overtaken every little thing she does quite rapidly too. Within it's only been out for a month or
Yeah.
so, and I don't know. I feel like Equestrian Girls videos seem to sometimes just get more attention.
Yeah.
I've seen this trend a lot, so it didn't surprise me. But yeah, um, okay. So I have. Let me see. Anything I have left on my end here before we do closing out this little episode here. Um, oh yes, here. Are there any ideas you've had that you've either canceled or haven't gotten around to?
Um,
Any notable ones?
let me see. Yeah, well, I mean, there are a couple, but there are things that I still intend to do in the future, so I really don't want to give them away. Um, but let me see. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I've written a couple fanfics that I've canceled, but nobody gives a shit about that except like for the 10 people who are reading them or whatever. And mostly shit I haven't gotten around to. There's a ton of songs I want to do that I just haven't had time to yet. But all in good time. All in good time.
Hmm. Okay. Why are attendees the best, and why should others accept them into their lives?
Well, I mean, candies are fucking delicious. Like, let's not be coy about it here. They're probably the most delicious food in existence. It's fried chicken, but you don't even have to worry about fucking around with the bone in there or whatever. It's a dream come fucking true. And then you know, I'm sure you can attest. You had tendies and beer for dinner tonight.
I
That's a
did.
meal.
I
That's a
did.
meal fit for a king. Um,
Indeed.
and as long as you maintain enough good boy points, you can have tendies. I mean, hopefully at least once or twice a week if you're a really good boy. So yeah, I mean, I just believe in having tendies be a mainstay of my life. They're kind of that rock that I cling to in times of hardship that makes me realize that every that life is pretty good, man. Life is pretty good as long as we have our tendies.
Amen.
A fucking man.
Alrighty, guys. It's time here that we're going to start wrapping this up. So, as I said, chat questions are closed. And if we didn't get to yours, I think we did, in all honesty. But if we didn't, I apologize. Just remember, though, you can always shoot them towards D. He has a Twitter, which is provided to you. If you haven't seen it already, it's at the bottom of the video, the bottom feed. So, I've taken my moment here I've wrapped up my own questions. So, I'm going to have just a few more here, and then we're going to close this out. So, all right, D. You've been in this fandom for about as long as I have and contributed all across the spectrum of its content. With that in mind,
Definitely all across the spectrum.
yeah,
Yes.
with that in mind, how would you describe the feedback of your work in the community? How gentle has the community been to you these 5 years?
Well, I mean, it definitely depends on where I've been, but overall, I'd say everybody's been really fucking nice. To the point where I'm like, are they lying to me? Um, no, because yeah, I mean, I've never had a bad reaction to anything I've done unless I intentionally made it horrible and trying to fuck with people, which I have done, but that's in the past and we don't talk about it. Um, but yeah, I mean, on the whole, it's always amazed me that the response to everything I've done has always been much fucking better than expected. Whether it be, writing music or videos, everything's always gone far better than I ever imagined it would. So yeah,
All right.
everybody's been pretty fucking cool.
Okay then. Now, do you have any plans to branch out beyond the fandom, whether that might be now or in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I've started a little bit, just experimentally. I made a second channel, just did a couple anime things. I did a song, and then I did a fucking podcast talking about monster waifus. Um, but and I intended to do a bunch more shit for that recently, but then I got really fucking sick. I had like the flu or whatever, and it just kind of cut me off at the knees. But I'll continue putting shit on that channel as I come up with it. And I like doing YouTube, so I suppose, unfortunately, uh, I mean, we have to face the fact that at some point, ML, I mean, MLP is going to end, the show is going to end, and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I will be sort of forced to branch out into other things at some point. But fortunately, there are other things I like that are just as autistic as this that I can devote my time to at that juncture. So, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, on that note, I say it's a wrap for tonight's episode. D, thank you so
All
much for
right.
coming out here tonight.
Thank you for having me. This has been a lot of fun. You took my live stream virginity, and yeah, feel free to do me again anytime.
We'll bear that in mind. Okay, to everyone in the chat, thank you as well for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as D and I have. Before you all go back to doing whatever it is you're probably procrastinating from, if you haven't already, go follow this guy, okay? His Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, all that shit. It's in the feed at the bottom of the video. He's a great guy, great man. Follow his stuff if you're not already. And if you actually enjoyed my own shit here, follow myself if you want to stay tuned for more future episodes, because as of tonight, I've definitely decided I'm going to start making this a much more frequent series on my theater. So honestly, just follow me on Twitter. Simplest thing. I'm on there quite often. You'll get the most updates from there. And other than that, thank you guys and gals for watching from the horse's mouth. From D and I both, we wish you a pleasant evening.
Yeah,
See you
guys.
around,
Thanks
guys.
for coming out. I really appreciate it.
All
Catch
right.
you later.